ආයුබෝවන් දුවේ පුතේ. As usual, I am going to do a civic education lesson for grade 8. This is the third lesson of Unit 3, Multicultural Societies. Today, let's learn the cultural diversity of Sri Lanka and its importance. Are you ready? When we live in a multicultural society, all of us should be able to lead a peaceful lives. Then, as one nation, we will be able to develop the country. Therefore, we should be able to work cooperatively with other ethnic groups. At the same time, as bilingual education students, we should be able to communicate on what we learn. Therefore, both oral and written language performances are focused and emphasized in bilingual education. So, the new terms, phrases will be introduced to you with your first language meanings. I advise you to maintain a word guide or a glossary too. So far, we have discussed the cultural diversity, different festivals, ethnic groups, languages, religions, customs, traditions and heritages. Today, we are going to learn more on cultural diversity, focusing how it was established, more facts on cultural diversity and importance of it. At the end of the lesson, you will be able to describe and reason out on cultural diversity and its importance. As well, you will be able to appreciate the cultural diversity. Let's recall the previous lesson. We discussed on multicultural society because there are different ethnic groups, then there are different languages, as well as there are different religions. That is in the same society. Altogether, there is a diversity in customs, traditions and heritages. I think you can remember. Okay, our first activity is a simple task. If I asked you to divide these ethnic groups into two, how do you divide them? Then give reasons and give a name for two groups. You can take a little time. Okay, this is how I divided them. Yes, Sinhala, Tamil, Muslim, Malay, Burgher and other. Sinhala, Tamil, Muslim, Malay, Burgher and other. So I will say Sinhala is the majority, other ethnic groups are in the minority. This is how Sri Lankan society is consisted. The reason for this is comparing with the total population, the majority people take more than 60% and the minority groups get less percentages. Therefore, I divided these ethnic groups as majority group and minority group. think you also have divided your ethnic groups in similar way. Have you? According to 2012 census report, nearly 75% of total population is Sinhala people. Nearly 11% Sri Lankan Tamils and 4% Indian Tamils live in the society. There are 9% of Sri Lankan Moor or Muslims and less than 1% the other groups like Burgher and Malay are living in the society. So this graph also shows you how majority ethnic group and minority ethnic groups are living in the same society. Therefore, in our country, 25% of total population is consisted with minority people. Who are they? From where they have come? And why? To find answers, I want you to read the following paragraphs and complete the given table. So you better copy down the table first. Tamil. The people known as the Tamils use the Tamil language as their native tongue. Tamil is one of the Dravidian languages found in India. It existed in South Asia before the arrival of people speaking Indo-European languages in about 1500 BC. There was a constant stream of migration from southern India to Sri Lanka from prehistoric times. Some of these immigrants appear to have abandoned Tamil for Sinhala and become part of the Sinhalese caste system. Their connections with Tamil Nadu received periodic reinforcement during struggles between the kings of Sri Lanka and southern India that peaked in the wars with the Chola. It is probable that the ancestors of many Tamil speakers entered the country as a result of Chola conquest. The Tamil speakers in Sri Lanka are divided into two groups that have quite different origins and relationships to the country. The Sri Lankan Tamils trace their immigration to the distant past and are effectively a native minority. The Indian Tamils are either immigrants or the descendants of immigrants who came under British sponsorship to Sri Lanka to work on plantations in the Central Highlands. Because they lived on plantation settlements separate from other groups, including the Sri Lankan Tamils, the Indian Tamils have not become an integral part of society. Muslims. Muslims, who make up approximately 7% of the population, comprise a group of minorities practicing the religion of Islam. The Muslim community is divided into three main sections: the Sri Lankan Moors, the Indian Moors, and the Malays, each with its own history and traditions. The Sri Lankan Moors make up 93% of the Muslim population and the 7% of the total population of the country. They trace their ancestry to Arab traders who moved to southern India and Sri Lanka sometime between the 18th and 15th centuries, adopted to Tamil language that was the common language of Indian Ocean trade, and settled permanently in Sri Lanka. The Sri Lankan Moors lived primarily in coastal trading and agricultural communities. preserving their Islamic cultural heritage while adopting many Southern Asian customs. During the period of Portuguese colonization, the Moors suffered from persecution and many moved to the Central Highlands, where their descendants remain. The language of the Sri Lankan Moors is Tamil, or a type of Arabic Tamil that contains a large number of Arabic words. The Indian Moors are Muslims who trace their origins to immigrants searching for business opportunities during the colonial period. Some of these people came to the country as far back as Portuguese times. Others arrived during the British period from various parts of India. The Memon, originally from Sindh, the modern Pakistan, first arrived in 1870. In the 1980s, they numbered only about 3,000. The Bora and the Malays. The Malays originated in Southeast Asia. Their ancestors came to the country when both Sri Lanka and Indonesia were colonies of the Dutch. Most of the early Malay immigrants were soldiers posted by the Dutch colonial administration to Sri Lanka, who decided to settle on the island. Other immigrants were convicts or members of noble houses from Indonesia who were exiled to Sri Lanka and who never left. The main source of a continuing Malay identity is their common Malay language, Bahasa Malaya, which includes numerous words absorbed from Sinhalese and Tamil, and is spoken at home. In the 1980s, the Malays comprised about 5% of the Muslim population in Sri Lanka. Burghers. The term burgher was applied during the period of Dutch rule to European nationals living in Sri Lanka. By extension, it came to signify any permanent resident of the country who could trace ancestry back to Europe. Eventually, it included both Dutch burghers and Portuguese burghers. Always proud of their racial origins, the burghers further distanced themselves from the mess of Sri Lankan citizens by immersing themselves in European culture, speaking the language of the current European colonial government, and dominating the best colonial educational and administrative positions. They have generally remained Christians and live in urban locations. Since independence, however, the burgher community has lost influence and in turn has been shrinking the size because of emigration. Hope you all have finished completing the table. Here's the answers. The first minority group is Tamil. They have come from southern India. The reason for coming here is one is migration for conquest and as labor force. They have come here during Chola Sinhala War period and during the British colonial era. Their language is Tamil. Today, nearly 14% of the total population is Tamil people. The second minority group is Muslim, or we say Sri Lankan Moor, Indian Moor and Malay. They have come from Arab as well as India and Pakistan. The reason is the trade. So they have come during the Portuguese and British colonial era. Their languages are Tamil and Arab. At present, there are 7% of total population as there are Tamil people. The third one is Malay. They have come from Southeast Asia or Indonesia. They have come here as soldiers mainly, and then that is during the Dutch colonial era. Their language is Bhasha Malaya, but I think it's the home language. Most of them use Tamil. That Malay people, there are 5% of Muslim population. Then the Burgher people, they have come from European countries. The main reason is expansion of Christianity and for maybe the administrative purposes also. However, they have come during the Dutch colonial era. There are two types. You can remember Portuguese burghers and Dutch burghers. So their language is English. The number is very few. I think you may have written the similar answers. So now it's easy for us to understand from where they have come, what is the reason for coming here, and now how they have become. Let's learn more. First came the Tamils from India. Then from Arab and Pakistan. Yes, that is Muslim. And from Indonesia. Oh, yes, they are the Malay people. And here from European countries, the Burgher people came here. Now you can see the part of from different part of the world, people have come here and settled for a long time. So now we know the reasons for coming here. So there are 5 reasons I have given here. One is migration for conquest, as labor force, for trade, as soldiers, expansion of Christianity. I think you can remember. I asked you to maintain a glossary. So you better write down these phrases in your glossary and try to match the first language meanings. We will give you a little time. Let's see the answers. Migration for conquest means, yes, you can check. As labor force, for trade, as soldiers, expansion of Christianity. Okay. I think you all have got all corrected. Now this is activity 4. Let's discuss the relationship between factors and the reasons. Now here I have given you 5 factors: geographical location, migration, invasion, cultural relationships and trade. We know Sri Lanka is located in the middle of the Indian Ocean and it is an island. This geographical location is very important for trade or the traders who came from both east and west. Therefore, some people try to get the power of this country by force. At the same time, during colonial era, Tamil people have come as laborers to work in plantation sector. All the five reasons are attractive on migration. However, migration or invasion, whatever the reason, some other people, the ethnic groups from other countries, they came here and settled down. And because of that reason, some type of cultural relationships were happened here. Or we say, we had some relationships with other countries, and especially the trade. So now you can see how these factors have connect with these reasons, because of sometimes many reasons will be there affecting on one factor. So I will give you a little time. You see the relationship between these factors and reasons. Geographical location, the reason for migration for conquest, then as labor force because the India is close to our country, and for trade. So all these reasons have been affected on this factor geographical location. There's a relationship. Then the migration. People, why did people come here? Yes, for conquest or as labor force, for trade, as soldiers, to expand the Christianity, religious purposes. Invasion, why people tried to get the power of our country? That is the reason is migration for conquest. They came here to get the power, and as soldiers they came here, right? Then the cultural relationships are there because of labor force, maybe the expansion of Christianity, or maybe for trade, people came, right? So there's a direct connection. Okay, this is activity 5. I want you to match these phrases with your first language meanings. I'll give you a little time. Okay, shall we check the answers? Geographical location means, yes. Migration means, okay. Invasion means, cultural relationships means, then trade means. I think you can add these words to your glossary. Now let's see how this multicultural society is established in Sri Lanka. What are the main factors and the relationships of each factor? Now you see the first one is geographical location. You see Sri Lanka is located in the middle of the Indian Ocean, and there are a lot of natural harbors. In past, the people who wanted to go to the east from west and then the west to west from east. So this our country was a good place for them to get their facilities. Therefore, the location of our country is very important in the world trade. Therefore, people try to get the power of our country because it's easy for them to control the trade and to get good profit. There are a lot of reasons. So because of this geographical location, the traders wanted to come here. The trade was, they can organize it well if they have the power. So they tried to get the power. And because of these three reasons, we had a lot of cultural relationships with other countries. And with all these reasons, we had a lot of migrations from other countries. Therefore, those are the reasons for having a cultural diversity in our country. I think it's easy for you to understand. When we live in a multicultural society, what should we know and why? You know, rather than government jobs, there are a lot of self-employments where the income is unlimited. Think of the given list of jobs: tailor or bridal dresser, photographer, chef, cook or waiter, or maybe you are maintaining or running a catering service, conducting a reception hall, a florist, textile shop, grocery. Think about the need of the people in that society. If you want to get a good profit and to do a great service, and if you are living in a multicultural society, what should you know? If you are handling one of these jobs, if you are having one of these jobs. So think of this situation and you can write your answer. This is what I have written. As we are living in a multicultural society, these jobs are always connected with people and their needs. So I think we should know their customs and traditions of all type of ethnic groups and religious groups in the society if we want to get a good profit and to do a great service. Don't you think so? Yes. Now, what are the different customs and traditions that we should know? What we experience in the society? Let's list out the facts and different customs and traditions we experience in a society. I'll give you a little time. Okay, these are what I have experienced. The one is there are different festivals. I think you all know that. And people wear different types of clothes. Their style of dressing is different. And they have different type of food items. Yes. Then they have different habits of eating. Also, they celebrate their life events differently. And they have different type of aesthetic traditions. Their tastes are different. They have different norms and myths. So, if we know all these things, I think it's easy for us to live peacefully in this multicultural society. Shall we try some examples? Okay. Before we go to the next activity, I want to write down your ideas. While watching, write the words in a paper that come to your mind. After watching, you can write 2 or 3 sentences using your words. Then arrange them coherently or systematically to give a meaning. Think of a suitable topic to your essay. Then show it to your parents, your friends, or to your teachers. Then they will give comments for that. They will help you to improve your writing. Okay? Yes, most of these norms and myths are based on Sinhala Buddhist paper. So you can search up the myths and norms related to other ethnic groups and religious groups. And I think you have learned a lot, and I think your memory is awakened when you see the images. Isn't that so? So, I think you have written so many words related to these each image. That's right. So it's time for you to write 2-3 sentences using the words you have written. And then you can arrange them in a systematic way. Then I think you will be able to write a good paragraph description on cultural diversity of Sri Lanka. And I advise you to exchange your written documents, your essays, paragraphs with your friends, because your friends will help you to improve your writing and check their writings too. And then you can rewrite a good paragraph, and your parents and your teachers will help you to improve your writing based on this cultural diversity. So thank you very much, and to get more lessons, please subscribe. See you.